Well, good afternoon, everybody. It is now the 27th of December, and I'm coming into town today, and I'm excited to do it because we are going to author Deborah Dickinson's mini meetup at Gringo's Mexican restaurant in Tyson Wells. And I'm going to guess, my prediction is I might have a little trouble finding a place to park because it is 2 days after Christmas, so I'm thinking things are getting busy in Quartzsite. People will be starting to pour in this weekend, and the tap will be on full until the big tent, where it's going to peak, and then after the big tent, it'll start to drain. People will start to head home. But we're coming into peak times, my friends. Here we are. We'll see how hard it is to find a parking space near Gringo's. And Gringo's is over by the game store, where that iconic Tyson Wells sign is up there on the left. And we'll just see how we do. I would think any spot that I catch between here and there is probably a good spot. I see an almost one, an almost not quite though. And there's, every time you think you spot one, it'll say no parking. Or it'll be blocking one of the side streets here. And there might be one here. Maybe. Nope, not really. Just a couple of handicap spots here. And because of my hip arthritis, I definitely qualify for that. But the DMV has been long in come on, you can do it. You can do it. Back up. You can do it. Is he straightening out or is he leaving? It looks like he's leaving, and it looks like this is a bona fide spot. It is. Thank you. It doesn't get any better than this for where I'm going. I can see the place from here. So that's pretty wild. We're doing really well. I got to give a shout out to this person who just left a comment on my video. I don't get surprised very often, but this person is offended. They're offended that I have pet hair on my t-shirts when I do my videos. And I gotta say, hang on. I gotta say this about that. I've got to get my little neck thing here. If you're offended on YouTube by my pet hair, you're clearly not watching enough YouTube. As far as offensive material, that's got to be pretty far down the list, my friend. So they got the status of their comments are hidden, so you won't see that comment. And they can, if it's you listening, you can comment as much as you want on it. Object as much as you want. You will be the only one that are able to view those comments. I have a dog and a cat I love, and I wear a lot of black t-shirts, and I live in the desert. That's pretty much all I got to say about that. It's very, very odd comment, very odd criticism. So lots of other places that have people that don't have pet hair on their clothing. Lots of YouTube channels.
This is Jeff. You guys know him on YouTube. And the comment is Gypsy Minstrels. You must be on lunch break. I knew you were working today.
I'm good until 2.
Wow.
And then you go bad?
No, I have to go back to work.
No, do you go bad?
No, I have to go. At 2, I go back to work.
That's not easy to do.
There are 2 of the greatest YouTubers that ever lived right here. Frugal RV Val and the Dan Van.
I wish.
Hope, is it showing? Did I get you in frame? Okay.
I'll send you a text. And I'll say, hey, this is Cheryl, and then you can. Hey, Rob.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hello.
Hey. I
thought you'd be working today.
I am. I need to be back by 2.
What state are you from?
I kind of.
How you doing?
Yeah, but this warmth feels a lot better than that.
Oh, I should buy something to eat.
That I know. Anywhere you know that.
Hello.
We're done?
Yes, thank you. Rob, are you filming me, filming you?
Yes.
I'm shocked.
I'm filming you, filming me.
Oh, I see. So, whose channel does this go on?
I don't know. I'm confused. I'm confused.
You can get them now to where they.
Where are you sitting? Okay, so this is the $10 worth of nachos. And that's $1 million worth of Frugal RV Gal. All right, well, we finished. I had a great time at Deborah Dickinson. Her Meetup, Frugal RV Gal. The Dan Van was there, as you saw. Pup Camper 58. And we're going to try to, so we can, here's a barometer for how busy it is in Quartzsite. I'm having a hard time backing out of this spot in Kuhn Street because it's so darn busy. So that's a good barometer. All right, I made it. I made it onto King Street. And the other barometer is look at kind of the traffic jam through here. This is kind of the typical near peak season traffic jam at, say, 1 o'clock in the afternoon in Tyson Wells. Lots of interesting vendors, lots of places to eat, and new vendors are coming in pretty much every day. Now, and while I was able to find a parking space, that's a sign that it's not quite there yet. Because when it's really there, when it's in January, you're not parking on King Street. You're parking in the parking lot in the back that goes all the way to I-10. And you park way in the back 40 and hike in. That's the usual. So here we're coming up to Central, which is also 95, and I make it right here. I go south back to the Ltva. And it's going to be interesting to see how busy that is going back. That'll be of interest to me and to you maybe. And here we go. And you see on the right here, there's a RVs for sale there. Look at all those Class A's. There are a few fifth wheels back there. I see camper vans. I see Class C's. A pop-up RV dealership called RV Country. And here we go on our way south on 95. And if this is boring you because you know this too well, think about people that are trying to figure out what's going on here. There are 4 long-term visitor areas, and the first 2 are on the right and left side, the entrances. On the right here will be the Ltva West, and they call it Ltva West and Ltva North on the left. They're both long-term visitor areas. Ltva in Old Spanish means resting place. And then right below, south of here, are 2 more, and we'll get up to them. And on the right will be Ltva Tyson Wash, and where I stay, Ltva South, where we'll be making a left into. So they're all abutting each other with a divide going down the middle in the form of this highway. But if this highway wasn't here, it would be just a 2x2 grid of 4 Ltva areas. And no matter which one you get a permit at, you're good to go on all 4 of them. You can move around like musical chairs if you want, or you can stay in one spot. You buy that $180 ticket for the season, you can stay in one spot until April 15th. It actually starts September 15th. Everybody knows the price is going to go up next year, but nobody knows. No one publicly knows, as far as I know, what that price is going to be. They've proposed $600 with all sorts of restrictions, and there was a big backlash to that, so we'll see what they end up with. Who knows? We won't know until next year. Or they could announce it today. I have no idea when they plan on announcing it. It's a little over 2 miles from Quartzsite to the entrance to these last 2 Ltvas. As I said, up here you see the brown sign. There's Ltva Tyson Wash on the right. Don't confuse it with Tyson Wells. Although Tyson Wash, the wash actually goes through Tyson Wells. It can get confusing. But Ltva South is on the left here. And kind of the special thing about Ltva South is that the amenities that are open to anyone with an Ltva permit, which include dump stations for your black and gray water and fresh water stations, those are all here in Ltva South. So if you are way up north there by town and you want to refresh your water and dump your tanks, you will need to come down here to do that. And right in front of us, see that Class A with the towing that little car in front of us? They're coming out of the parking lot where they pulled in here and they got their permit. And they're going to find a place to camp. As far as dump stations, we'll drive by the dump station, but there is a small one. It's called the Blue Boy dump station. It's where if you have one of these totes like I have that is 35 gallons or less, and they're not real strict about that. Mine's a 36-gallon tank, and they've never turned me away for the extra gallon. But the rule officially is 35 gallons. You see where that white tank is? That's a fresh water tank. And not fresh water, but water to rinse out your stuff. Next to it with the orange cones and everything, that is where you can pull up and dump your tote. Instead of getting into sometimes a long line of people in line for the real dump stations down here. Now, many of you have asked, hey, I'm in a tent, I'm in a car, I'm in a camp, in an SUV or something, and they found out about the rule that may be a little disappointing, that if you don't have a self-contained tank of at least 10 gallons, self-contained means built into your rig, a tank for wastewater, you must be within 500 feet of a vault toilet. And there are several of them out here, and I mention it because there's one coming up on the right here. And you see there's a little community of people with tents and cars that are within 500 feet of it. It's not hugely crowded. This is probably the first one, so it's probably the most populous one. But there's room if you wanted to park in here. And one of my listeners there is in there, and I went to visit him. And one of the first things that happened when he pulled in there is he made friends with the people around there. And they almost immediately offered to watch his stuff when he went into town, which was a huge relief to him. And he's become pretty quickly part of the community here. But if it's like there's too many people, there are many other of these vault toilets as you drive back further into here, where you can be within your 500 feet and there'll be less people around. Now up here on your left in the distance is a little hill you see with blue dumpsters. That's where you pull up on that little mound there, and there are 4 giant dumpsters for your trash. And just be advised, you need to have a permit to use that facility, and they do watch for it. And to the right here where you see this Class A, it looks like the one that I mentioned when they first pulled in. They're stopping to dump tanks. So they're in line. And it's not a long line. There's only like 2 or 3 people in line here, which is nothing because it's a dual dump station. Let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 in line. And you can see over to the right there's 2 using the dump station. So it won't take long for them to get through there. And then beyond that, up here, it's a little harder to see on the camera, so I'll drive up to it. These are the water stations. There you go. And they're water stations just like this on the other side of the road too, so there's virtually no waiting for that. So I'm going to sneak through here and head back to camp. And on the way, we can see how much more crowded it is. And there's a mobile RV tech guy camping out here. Called Mobile RV Repair 866 RV Fixer. You can see him on the screen there, his truck. So you have good access. I just put you on my YouTube channel. No problem. Travels with Dottie is the name of the channel. Oh, you do? Okay. So I just mentioned you in your phone number and everything. Yeah, when you were parked over there.
Yeah, I'm Bob.
Hi, Bob. And so you're the owner of Mobile RV Repair? Yeah. Anything, you're being recorded right now, it's facing that way, but they can hear you. Anything you want to say to people that might be interested in your services?
Hey, we're just from Minnesota, and we've got a lot of parts on hand. We brought a lot down with us. We're slide outs, furnaces, whatever you need.
All right.
We'll get you taken care of.
And just call that number 866 RV Fixer and they'll get you, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, hope we send some business your way.
Hey, I appreciate it.
Hey, no
Thanks.
problem.
Have a good
Yeah.
day.
Seems like an awfully nice guy. So we need to get up here. We're on, you know, it's always seems like it's a long way, but it's not, because as soon as I make this turn up here, we're practically there at home. And it's a little tempting when I see, oh, I'm almost there, to kind of give it a little bit of gas, but we got to remember to keep the speed down. Why? Because we want to keep the dust down so we don't blow by someone's camp and they're sitting out there on their zero gravity chair enjoying themselves, and boom, they get covered with dust because a jerk like me goes by not paying attention to how fast you are. I don't know if you can see this on the camera, probably not, but there's a dust storm in front of us that's it's a little mini tornado. It's going to be hard to see on the camera, but I can see it. And it just disintegrated. I don't know if you could see that, but it's pretty interesting when those happen. And boy, if one of those little twisters hits your camp, you'll know it. It'd be no joke, you'll know it. I remember, and I've told this story before, I was a couple of years ago, I was going to see my friend Deborah from earlier at her camp. And it was a beautiful day like this, hardly any wind, gorgeous. And I find her rig and I get out and I walk up and she's outside the rig, kind of sitting on the ground. All her chairs and tables are overturned. It looked like the place just went through a hurricane, but it was a perfectly still, beautiful day. I said, Deborah, what the heck is going on? And it turns out one of those things that just hit her right in front of her rig and knocked her down, knocked all her stuff around. She was pretty shook up. Nothing got broken though. So now I got to get back in. It's 1:19 at 2 o'clock. I have to be back at work. It's a Friday, but what a great Friday, because I had a cancellation for the first one. The second one was a very pleasant session, and then I had off so I could go to Denver mini meetup, and I've just got 3 more and I'm done. So that's a pretty light day. I'm doing almost 9 miles per hour and I'm not kicking up any dust, which is nice. And we have arrived home. Home again, jiggity jig. I don't even know what that's from. Alrighty. So these nachos, it's not going to be 2 meals. It's going to be 3 or 4 meals. So anyway, that concludes today's video, and I hope you had a good time tagging along with me. I had a good time doing it and having a great day. It's 1:23, so back to work for me. I will see you tomorrow on the next video. Well, take care. I can shut it off right here.